You in the mood. I've been running, keep on gunning, stop the fight on your word. It's what you hear, not what you heard. I'ma hang on every verb. I'ma show you what it's worth. Every day I'm on the earth till they put me in the dirt. I'ma get into it first.
And we are back. Oh man, that's the wrong show. What up, Ken, man? It's been a long time since we've been like face to face on the interview. It's been like a few years, right?
Yeah, it has been. It's been a minute, man.
It's been a minute. Like, what's crazy is, y'all, we had like one of the top shows, like, believe it or not, like before all these podcasts came out, we had a show called Respectfully Disagree that was really Ken's idea. He brought me in on it. We worked together on this thing. And just like a year ago, it like went up the chart some kind of way. I don't know what happened. I still don't understand it. But one of the episodes, definitely the episode with Grace Jones. It went up the charts. So we are back. And this is our first time like being back on an interview. But today is a special day. It is Ken's 50th episode of his show that's on YouTube called Ken's Travel, where he like traveled the world. And I'm gonna put a disclaimer here. Ken has been trying to get me to travel every country since he started. And it's always been something. So this year I am traveling, and we'll tell you soon where we're going. And just to hold me to my word, because something always pop up. I'm like really getting my visa like this week. But we'll get into that. So Ken, man, like, what's up, man? Talk to us.
All right, so I wanted to start this out with making a little bit about you. We probably know each other for like, God, say 20 years or so now.
Yes.
I just wanted to like have you do this and have you do the interview because like we've been cool, been friends forever, and I couldn't think of. And this is nothing against any of my other friends. It's nothing personal. So I just want to say that first. But I couldn't think of a better person, just because, like, you know, like with me traveling and stuff, ever since I've known you, you always been like a go-getter. You always put your best foot forward. You always have the drive and the ambition. And it don't matter whether you succeed or fail, you still get out there and try. You know what I'm saying? So in this aspect, I know that you can relate. You know, same thing with me traveling. Whatever it is that I do in life, I don't mind taking chances either. So I think we got like mindsets with that. So I wanted to have you do this interview. Another thing I wanted to do, like, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you get going on?
Oh, Lord. E, this is about you. You know, some people say I never had a problem talking about myself. I would say that's opposite. But no, really, no, appreciate that. So, yeah, like, man, I'm doing, like, TV now. So went from music, as you know, to our podcast. And the past few years, or since 2017, I've been working on my own TV show called Made for This. And it's like, are you made for this industry, this entertainment industry? First season dropped on Tubi last July, actually. I think July the 15th, 2 episodes dropped. And then December, around the 15th, the rest of the 3 episodes. So season 1 is out there on Tubi. Hopefully y'all go and watch it.
Welcome to Sky's the Limit Entertainment. Under this company, we brand, rebuild, consult, manage, direct, and produce the careers of artists, entertainers, and influencers.
I never gave up. That's what kept me strong.
Me and DP, we're used to running this city.
Dreams come true. I was made for this and I know it. Live under pressure, but I never show it. Set aside my pride and move and no emotion. Oh, yeah. Give a damn about a hater, 'cause I'm steady getting paper. So what you say don't matter at all.
Eyes to the sky. God, born to be an entertainer. Screams when I hit the stage, look how they gaze when you're famous. Never jaded by the fame or as fast as it came. Couple homies became a stranger, but I just charged it to the game. Switch gears, but I maintain the lane. Wrestle with it a bit, but the champ's still in the ring. A visionary, but I'm still in my teens. A young Martin Luther, I'm a king in my dreams.
Dreams come true. I was made for this and I know it. Live under pressure, but I never show it. Set aside my pride and move and no emotion. Oh, yeah. Give a damn about a hater.
But I like due dates.
Chris, how are you? Hey, have a seat. Have a seat.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Don Christopher coming from Columbia, South Carolina. I'm in Atlanta trying to do my music, but it's a lot of haters in my way.
So welcome back to the Sky team. I have several people in the room. Some you know, some are new. To my right is Vanyetta. This beautiful lady here is Miss Pooh Hicks. And at the end is Ego Maserati. He is our image consultant. And I know you know my business partner, Jason.
I don't want to take advice from somebody who already don't like me. It's already going to be negative.
No, but you don't.
You gotta be able to go to the next level.
Because I've been in his presence before I know him. Do you not remember our last encounter?
Let me tell you what I remember.
Saying that you didn't want me to be a part of Sky, and you thought I was talented, but I shouldn't be there because you felt like your son probably should be there. But I don't see your son now.
You got a little bit of talent.
A little bit?
Just a little bit.
As a friend, you know, I want to see you on, but you can't come in here like this.
We're judging and speaking on your attitude as coming in here.
You say you image, but you look like Count Dracula.
Well, you came to Sky.
We're not coming to see you, you coming to see us.
Who are you? Because you came into our office.
This is my shit. This is my shit, though. This is my shit. You don't hear from me. Why are you here?
In all these fucking years that you know me, have I ever put you in a room with anybody that didn't know what they was doing?
Tell me anything about me. I need to know what y'all.
Because that's what you're here for.
I think we're done. At the end of the day, listen, meeting adjourned.
Exactly. You can get the hell out.
I thought it went great.
That's been my focus. That's been why I eat, sleep, drink, and everything else. I think the past 5 years, and that's been some of the reasons I haven't been able to go on these amazing trips. But we are now working on season 2. We anticipate filming in August. It's going to be almost a whole new cast. We are going to have some of the cast from season 1. You know, we need the continuation, and you know, some of them with some characters, let's say the least. So I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about it because it's a bigger deal. It's a bigger network. And I'm just looking for the world to see, you know, what I've been working on for so long.
And are you able to give like any hints of like who might be returning and who won't be, or can't tell everyone?
Yes. I won't say everybody because there'd be some disappointing people out there. But I think people know, and you know, that Chris is definitely returning to the show. You know, he was like the star of the show. He's entertaining. He's funny. And he can be a firecracker. He ain't gonna like me saying that, but it's true. Chris, you can be a firecracker. So he can be a firecracker, man. So he's returning to this show, and he's coming bigger and better than ever. He's been writing for a lot of people. So we're really excited about that. We're excited about his future and the now. But those people that's returning, they got to face me this year. Last year, they didn't have to face me. And you know how I can be, kid, when it's go time. So it's going to be intense. We're going to have some intense sit down with some people. And I can tell you this, Corey and I have not sit down. Corey Sims used to be an artist of mine. We have not sit down and really talked about what we feel derailed, you know, his career, which also kind of derailed everybody else's career. And I think that's going to be an emotional conversation, you know. We've avoided the conversation because not only was he an artist, he became a friend, and I was a mentor to him, and guy was like my son at some point. It felt like it, and that's going to be deep, kind of emotional thinking about it because we got a lot of stuff to unpack. And then last, my friend Pooh, you know, Pooh crazy ass coming back. But there's a lot of Vanyetta, oh my God, radio DJ. So there's a few people coming back on the show. And then, we're still like seeing who gonna come back though.
All right, turn it over to you now.
So it's your turn. So first, I want you to tell the audience who you are for real. Your name, where you from, where you grew up, your age, if you want to tell that, and just some of your likes real quick, and then we're gonna get right in it.
All right. I mean, as most of you already know, my name is Ken. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Been back here now for about 11 years. Before that, I was in Atlanta for 11 years. Lived a couple other places, but kind of grounded now. I would like to get the hell up out of here again at some point, but this is home for now. As far as age, I am 46 years old. Be 40. Okay, that's enough about that. It's so funny, like when you're younger, you just always wanted to get older, and then when you're older, you're like, shit, like I'm appreciative, thankful, but
right. What are some of your hobbies outside of traveling? Because we're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into that. What do you think some of your hobbies are?
So like sitting around chilling sometimes, doing absolutely nothing, like sleeping, like eating, like movies, video games, bowling, pool, sports bars, sporting events. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that I like, and plus I like to always try new stuff too. So like I'm always constantly finding new things that I didn't think that I would like. Now I do, and I enjoy them, and just put myself out there basically.
Yeah. That's pretty dope, man. So it is crazy, Ken. So we started this out by saying this is the 50th episode of Ken's Travel, your TV show that's on YouTube. And yes, I call it a TV show because people watch it like your TV show. But something amazing that even I didn't realize, you have been to 16 countries so far. And just to name some, I gotta look at the sheet for this because let me pull them up. UK, France, Belgium, Spain, Greece, Africa, Morocco, probably some other places, Switzerland, and that's just the name of few. So, like, what started your love for traveling? Like, how did that start?
I would say basically like one, living in a couple other states, but then also, I started getting my feet wet going to Steeler games. And instead of just seeing the Steeler games here in Pittsburgh, I was like, let me go to another city and see a Steeler game. It's an opportunity to visit the city. It's an opportunity to go to another stadium. Hopefully we win, because it sucks when we spend all that money and you lose. And you got to hear about it from the fans in that hostile environment. So,
right.
I started going to places like Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Houston, and just getting my feet wet. I think I came down there to Atlanta one time just to go to the Steeler game. Mm-hmm. And so I was supposed to go on another trip. I was debating between like Los Angeles or New York. And in the process of planning for that, I was just out of nowhere. I was like, I'm going to go overseas. And so I was like, I'm going to take my income tax check and I'm just going to go. So I went and got my passport. He said it would take like 4 to 6 weeks. I was cheap and didn't want to pay like for expedited because that was like another $60. So like my trip is just maybe 6 weeks away. And the passport was supposed to take 4 to 6 weeks. And I'm just praying like, God, please let this passport come in time. I'm talking to Tumani. He's like, you're an idiot for not paying for the expedited. And I had to go be sweating bullets. But they said 4 to 6 weeks. I didn't pay for expedited. It came in 13 days. So that just worked out perfectly. And I was able to go to London and Paris on that first trip. And ever since then, man, like I never looked back.
Nice.
I would say that it's just a passion for wanting to do something different, something new. Like I don't want to be like everybody else. And that's not to knock anybody else. I don't want to be stagnant. Yeah. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I don't want to be mundane, or I just want to always, I feel like as you live life, you got to keep growing. You got to keep exploring. Right. You got to keep trying new things and never just be so stubborn and dead set in your ways. It's because you don't grow and develop. And as you get older, I feel like you have to evolve as a person along with that maturity and growth that comes along with getting older. So that's some of the main reasons why.
Nice. So I heard you just say kind of like a hobby. Do you think like, do you see it as a hobby now since you've been to so many places and you do this every year and we'll get into that? or is it is it a passion? Is it both? How would you describe that?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a hobby too, obviously, because I enjoy it. But I get like OCD with things that I really love, and then things that I don't want to do, I'm like really lazy about. So, like, honestly, for the longest time in my life, I didn't find a true passion or purpose. But I think I found my passion now, man, and I found my purpose. I love traveling. I'm addicted to it, and it's just an indescribable feeling. Like, and I want other people to do the same and experience it. Like, I know for us as African Americans, a lot of times, like some of us live in the hood and different stuff, and we never get to see outside of the hood. So that's all we know. And I think that like it keeps a like limited mindset. You know what I'm saying? So I think traveling brings growth, it brings character, it helps you be a little bit more empathetic to other people, other cultures, other realities. Just and sometimes when you're down and out and you're depressed or you're feeling about things and stuff, you understand that there's a whole world out here. And like, you know, the only limitations we have in life is what we limit ourselves to, you know, so, and then it's almost kind of like a sense of exploration, like being a little kid, like 8 years old in a candy store. So like when I'm going on trips, I'm like giddy, I'm so happy and so excited. I just want to see what's next and what's over here and what's over there and what's to do tomorrow. And, you know, so it's just, like I said, I found my passion in life, honey.
You know, I think that's very important because a lot of us are always looking for what that passion is in life. And I think some of our purpose, not all, but some of our purpose is just that, finding our passion and seeing what we can do with it. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about the TV show. It's a passion. And I can tell that traveling is a passion of yours, man. Like, because you get excited about it. I'll be stressed over like when we going, who going, how I'm going, the rates and all that, and you just be like, you really plan and prepare. And we're gonna get into that. But first I want to ask you. So we mentioned earlier the 16 countries, some of them, just a few of those 16 that you've been to. Like, what's like on your bucket list? What's upcoming places that you'll be going to?
So I was thinking about putting out a poll to let the people decide for me next. So the next trips next year, well, you already know where I'm going, coming this September. I'm not going to say that now, but next year, it was basically like 4 different separate trips. So one of the options was going to Japan and Vietnam. I've never been to Asia yet, so something I wanted to do.
We love that.
Another trip was going to be to South Africa, Ethiopia, and Egypt. The third idea was going to Iceland and Greenland. And then the fourth idea was to go to Croatia, Montenegro, Budapest, and probably add like, think of like the Czech Republic or Prague, because I don't think it's the Czech Republic anymore. I think it's just Czech or something. I don't remember. But it's Prague. Yeah, I don't want to get my information wrong. So it's probably out of those 4 options, but mainly where I'm probably leading to is Japan and Vietnam. I don't want to go to Vietnam forever, but Japan would be cool too. And so, like I said, I also haven't been to Asia yet. So,
well, I'm gonna tell you, one trip don't call me for. That's Iceland. Yeah, I don't do the cold weather, y'all. Ken will tell y'all if he says something like Antarctica, as beautiful as it is, ain't going. He'll tell you. I'll be like, yeah, I might go, but then I'll be thinking icebergs and like I'm cold right now. So and it's like
that's how I felt when I was trying to get you to go to Alaska, bro.
That's like, what it was.
Like, yeah, but you're like, but you actually was supposed to go because I'm supposed to be part of that Canada-Alaska trip. So
it was.
Got canceled because of COVID.
I was gonna go because I felt like it can be thrilling. Like one thing that I'm doing now, and I'm 41. Oh my God, we were just in our 20s. Is I'm real seeking a little more.
All right,
hey,
you see me and Trev up at Miami Beach parasailing. We're about 400 feet above the ocean.
Yeah.
This was my crazy ass idea, but I convinced them to do it.
Stuff, y'all.
I'll show y'all what it looked like from the other side.
Oh my God.
See, this is fun, man. This is great.
It's fun, but it's far. Look how far down they are.
feel like Superman.
I'm exploring. I did a lot of thrill seeking, I think, in my 20s, but just different. And now I'm doing a little more. And so I figure, why not? Let me just go to this cold place. And it's a family friendly show, right? I'm about to say some other stuff about.
I mean, you can say whatever you want. I try to
old ass place and go from there. And something I brought up earlier, as we were talking, you know, one of my like anxieties of planning trips a lot of times is I've always gone on group trips, you know, trips with 5-6 people. And I think your situation is very unique. You pretty much go on these trips solo. How's that experience been for you?
So out of the 16 countries I've been to, 11 of them I went to by myself. And of course, like I said, the first trip, London and Paris, I did that by myself too. I honestly, I actually like and prefer traveling by myself. I don't mind other people coming, but I know how I am. You know what I'm saying? I just like to get out there and go. And I don't think that the average person can keep up with me. On top of that, you know, I do these recordings for my show. So I know some people get irritated and tired of that. They don't want to stop and take pictures. They don't want to stop and take videos. And, you know, so it's like trying to find like-minded people or somebody that doesn't mind. Because like if you watch certain other people's YouTube channels, it could be a husband and a wife and they travel together and they'll do all this recording and all this stuff for other friends, or they got a team of people to do the recording. So I don't want to go on a trip with somebody. I don't want to inconvenience them, but I don't want them to inconvenience me either. You know, so little different things. So there's been like trips where I went on, and let's say, for example, on the very first trip when I was in Paris and I was on my way to the airport, I got up at 8:30. I normally try to get to the airport like 3 hours in advance. I got on a train, got to this one spot, and I asked somebody, what train should I get on? Should I get on this side or this side? He told me to get on this side. Well, that train went in a complete opposite direction of where I was supposed to go. So I had to get back on the train, go back to where I started. Then I got on the right train, and then I was headed towards the airport, but there was like a fork in the road. And this train went to the right. Was supposed to go to the left. So then I had to get out the train and go back to where the fork was in the road. And then there's like all these different platforms, and I got on the platform, and then I realized I was on the wrong platform. So I had like less than an hour to get to the airport. So I had to swallow my pride and catch an Uber, because I was like, no, I'll just catch the train. I got on that plane with 6 minutes to spare, man. And so I could just imagine if somebody else was there with me, irritating me, getting on my nerves, panicking, and just, you know what I'm saying? Because like, I'm nervous and there's high pressure, but I'm trying to remain cool and calm. And somebody else, yap, all in my ear and getting mad. Like I don't need that around me. So like I said, I don't mind traveling with nobody else, but ideally, in a perfect world, I'd rather travel alone. I just wish somebody would hold the camera and record. But
oh, so that's why you invited me on this trip in September. Hold the camera and record. Let me write this down. Hold the camera and record. That's why Ken invited me on this trip. Nah, he's invited me on every trip. But yes.
I know that trip I went on with Chris, I know sometimes I was getting on his nerves, taking pictures and recording. So, but you figure like this, man, like if you really add up the time that you're recording and taking photos, let's just say out of the day, 30 minutes out of the day, you spent recording or doing photos and videos. There's still like 13 hours in a day. So that means that for 12 and a half hours out of that day, you're actually doing stuff. Like I've heard people before who say, how you just sit there and go and record all day and record all the time. And it's like, you should just be there enjoying yourself. Do you honestly think I spent all this money on this trip and I'm not enjoying myself? That I'm just busy just taking the pictures and everything, no matter what, and I'm not enjoying. I'm taking the pictures as the stuff is going on. Like, trust me,
yeah, man, that's insane though. Like with the whole traveling with the camera. I mean, well, you have the little thing, right? What is it called? The selfie stick and all that?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different cameras that I have. One, you have like the selfie stick that you can use. I also have like a 360 camera. So like I can just hold it forward or hold it on that stick and it'll record everything that's in front of you, everything that's in the back of you, everything to the side. So I can do it like post-production and just put the camera angle like whatever way that I want to do it.
Yeah.
Another camera that I have like with magnets, like you have like a pendant you put around your neck and it's a magnet there, and you just attach the camera there, so then I can just walk freely without having to like hold anything at all. So there's like all different types of things that I have, just made it easier. Certain cameras, whether it's a tripod or like I said, it has that magnet, so you can attach it to like let's say if there's like some metal on a street lamp, you could put it there, and then I can record it as I'm walking by. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that I can use.
That's pretty smart. I know a lot of the viewers are going to want to know some of those things. We're going to get into some of that stuff too, just like tips that help the viewers and other travelers like yourself, because I didn't know nothing about the magnet camera. I might need to use that around here. Is that kind of like how the police use their little camera?
Actually show you where the hell is it? All right, so for example, this is the DJI Action 2 camera. So like a couple things you could do is like here, you could just like sit this down on the table, but also it's like magnetic. So this, while you're holding it, you can see the screen on the back while it's going forward, but also you can take it apart and just have this part here, and then you have the magnet on there, and then it just like straps onto here like that, so you can just walk around.
That's
like
cool.
Or something, And then they got like the head mount. So if you want to like look ridiculous, you could use like the head mount. You can put it here while you're walking. There's one, I have this thing that wraps around your waist, and it has the selfie stick that comes up behind your back. And you can have it attached, so you got all types of things. And then the 360 camera, like if your stick is long enough, you just hold it and it makes the stick invisible. So it almost makes it look like you got some drone shots, but it's not actually a drone, it's the camera. It just doesn't show the stick.
That's nice.
So there's a lot of little different things out there.
I was wondering how some of them views I've seen that you able to capture some of that stuff. So now I know. I know a lot of people are going to love those tips, because some people be struggling. They be dropping the phone. So their husband or whoever be having it sideways, and they just don't capture anything. So
yeah, especially like when you're traveling by yourself, you gotta have some of those things, because it's not as easy doing it by yourself.
Right.
And people be looking at you like you're crazy too. So
why you doing your filming by yourself?
Yeah, like that's why one of the reasons, like, you watch a lot of YouTube videos and people are walking down the street talking. I really don't like doing that, because they be looking at you like you damn, I was about to cuss, but they be looking at you like you're a lunatic, you know what I'm saying? So like sometimes I'll get the courage to go ahead and do it, or I've done interviews and stuff over there too, but I really don't. And then the other thing is that, like, technically in the real world, it probably is kind of rude to just be recording random people without their permission. Some people don't like being recorded. Some people turn their head. Sometimes somebody will confront you. I got confronted in Morocco for recording, and the guy grabbed my arm and everything, so sometimes it's not necessarily ideal.
Wow. That's interesting. They just hate us. That's just hate. Speaking of haters, so I know, like, when you go on trips, you have a lot of people that just support it, like, that's really dope. That's cool. They want to know more about you. But just like anything in life, you get a new car, you get a new house, you get a new TV show, anything, you always got your haters. So how have you dealt with that? Like, whether it be on your YouTube channel, friends, anybody, like, just hate on the ability that you're actually getting out and enjoying life and traveling every year?
Now, I think I'm not going to say that it doesn't bother me sometimes, because I'm human just like anybody else. I just be wondering sometimes, like, where this misplaced anger comes from. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the type, I'm always happy for everybody. I'm happy when somebody's in love. I'm happy when somebody gets married. I'm happy when somebody gets a promotion. I'm happy when somebody's traveling. Before I started traveling, I used to love seeing people's travel pics. I didn't look at it as if they're bragging or boasting. You can tell the difference between somebody bragging and boasting versus somebody just out enjoying life. And it irritates me, because don't get mad at me because you're miserable. You know what I'm saying? You see something that I'm doing, you don't like it just because you want to sit around and do nothing with yourself or do nothing with your life. That's not my problem. That's not my fault. I'm always put my nerves forward and try things and do things. And, like, what kills me is these people, they'll always do things like they'll make underhanded comments, you know what I'm saying? And you can see how people maneuver, what they say, what's spoken, what's unspoken. And it's just a sad state of affairs and stuff, man, because I can't relate. Like, I don't get jealous of people. I don't get envious of people.
Right.
And the thing is, with jealous people, You will never get a jealous person to admit that they're jealous of you. Jealous of you? You ain't. Who are you? But the thing is, they don't have to be jealous of you per se. They can be jealous of something that you're doing. They could be jealous of the attention that you receive from somebody else. Sometimes people are jealous because they see a light inside of you that they just don't have. You know what I'm saying? It's like I hate when people project that shit off on other people. Don't give me issues or attitude or make underhanded comments just because you're miserable and unhappy.
Right. Ooh, you done touch some nerves. But that's true. A lot of times people are miserable with their own lives. They're scared to jump out there and do whatever it is. But you know what? Just like you travel, somebody may go get food every day. And that's what makes them happy. Or they go and get a new car. But it's just some people, no matter what they have in their own life, they're always going to hate on what you're doing and what you have going on.
Because you've experienced that yourself.
Oh my God, do I ever? And I'm sure you hear it all the time. Like, how can you afford to go these places all the time? And, how can you pay for this? Is that one of the questions you be getting, or not even questions, you hear through the grapevine?
Yeah, some people think I'm stunting. Some people think I got something illegal going on. Some people think I'm a fraud. I guess they think I'm got a green screen behind me and pretending I'm in Europe or something. You know what I'm saying? Just like somebody who wants to play basketball, LeBron, or somebody who wants to be a rapper. I was hungry for traveling. When you're hungry for something, you make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to knock nobody, but you may spend all your money on cigarettes or alcohol or weed or clothes or whatever. My passion is traveling, so that's where the most of my money goes towards, because I just want to go and be everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, shit. I forgot what your question was now.
But it's real though. I agree. People will. One thing that I've learned is people will buy what they want to buy. They're going to spend money on what they want to spend money on. And no matter how broke they say they are, they're going to get what they want. You
may spend your money and stand in line every time a new pair of Jordans come up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their thing. Like, I'm not rich. You know what I'm saying? I just found a way. And as I continue to travel, I find new ways. It gets easier and you learn things and you perfect things. Like, for example, like somebody new going on a trip, like you may not know every country you go to, there's a currency conversion. You know what I'm saying? Your dollars either may have some long legs in one country and your dollars may not be as powerful in another country. You may not know you need an international travel charger. You can't just go somewhere and think you're going to use the same plugs that you use everywhere else. Those small things like that. But as you continue to travel, you learn those things and you get better and you refine it. Like, I just hate when people sit around just like hating on what other people are doing. Like, for example, like I do the YouTube channel. You know, some people will try to talk about a subscriber count or this or that, or for example, I'm not going to mention any names.
And we are back. So yeah, like we was just on the topic of haters and like how, people be hating just off you taking trips. And it was interesting because you said somebody just mentioned like, hey Ken, if you go to the grocery store, you're going to record that too. And you was telling me about that.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting there minding my business, not bothering nobody. And then just out of nowhere, so Ken, if you go to the grocery store, you're going to record that. And then there's somebody nearby that kind of like started snickering. I'm saying, thinking to myself, now, you weren't being sincere with asking me that. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get smart at this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, another situation, sometimes like YouTube channels be brought up and stuff, and people will say, like, you can't be shy about doing a YouTube channel. Now, like, when I'm just walking down the street, I really don't like holding the camera and talking out loud. Right. I don't want people to think I'm a lunatic. It's not to say that I haven't done it or won't do it. I just don't particularly care for it. A lot of times, me talking, I do like voiceovers after the fact. If I'm not like talking to somebody directly. So that's mentioned, and then somebody happens to say they don't like heavily edited YouTube videos. Now, I heavily edit my YouTube videos, and it's just like a sense of awareness. When you do stuff like that, I feel like you being a hater. You damn sure ain't being mindful of the people. For example, if there's a transgender person in the room, I'm not going to start speaking bad about transgender people. Now, if I say something, it's going to be while they're not there. if there's something that I don't like or agree. I'm not gonna sit. I'm like I always tell people like I'm not in the business of hurting other people's feelings. You know what I'm saying? Or just trying to agitate people, things like that. But it's like reading a room. You're talking about YouTube, and you know that I heavily edit my videos, and you say stuff like that. I feel like you're being funny. Maybe you're not, and it just was the conversation. But bare minimum, you're not reading a room. You know what I'm saying? So I got little petty stuff like that, and like a lot of times you have to be the more mature adult in the room, because sometimes you gotta give people grace, because if you respond or react to every single time somebody makes an underhanded comment, or every time they say something, you be getting into arguments and fights all the time.
And it's hard being the adult in the room every time. Trust me. That's ridiculous. I remember one of the trips that you were taking and preparing for, it was during a rough time in your life. Your mom was sick, and I'll let you go into a little more of that. And you was preparing to go on the trip. And so, like, how did that affect you in multiple ways? Your preparation, the time when you was there. I'm sure you was thinking of your mom during that time. And then even when you got back, and did anybody say like, oh, you should push your trip back, or you shouldn't go because your mom's sick? Like, what's your how did that go for you?
I mean, you know, people in general, somebody probably did say that, but for the most part, it wasn't said to me. You know, I mean, I had went on a couple trips while she was sick, because she was sick about 3 years, but, you know, I had found coverage for her during that time. I kind of have a different mindset than some people. I kind of feel like you have to escape sometimes. You got to have those moments where you take a break and get away and everything. We're not robots. You know what I'm saying? That was a very difficult time. That was a lot of stress. And she was already sick, but then maybe a month before my trip, we found out that she had stage 4 cancer. And so we learned that she had about weeks, if not months, to live. So when I took the trip, I debated back and forth whether I should take the trip, you know, and I came to the conclusion that I was taking a trip and that she would want me to take the trip. Now, granted, she might not have wanted me to leave her sad, and she probably would be like, no, you need to take care of me. But, you know, I took the trip and I told her, the whole entire time of the trip, I was worried that she might pass away during the trip. That Saturday while I was on vacation, she did take a turn for the worse while I was there, and my aunt had called me and told me that at this point she's pretty much gone and ready to go. She's just waiting for me to get back. She told that at one point my aunt said that she told her, can you just hang in there till I get back? And my aunt said my number. So in some ways it was funny, because I think like she was just ready to go, but she did hold on. I got back on a Monday. Yeah. And I seen her on a Monday. I could kind of tell, you know that look in somebody's face when you know that they're pretty much gone.
You just know.
Yeah, it's like almost like the spirit and the soul sucked out of them. So I got back up, and she died on Wednesday. The people from the hospice came and said that she probably would make it until the next day, but she died that same day. And I could tell like by her breathing, by the look on her face and everything. I had walked out of the room and I came back in, and then I found her dead. Yeah. One of the things that people fail to realize too is that vacation helped, because you got to think about all the things that you have to deal with after somebody passes, planning a funeral, cleaning up and out the apartment, tons of things that you got to do. And like, we got to have time to have breaks in life. Even with vacations, like when you're working a job, don't just spend all your time working from your job, and take a break. I don't even care if you go on vacation and you don't even go nowhere. If you just stay home, take some time out for you. Do not be a robot and live your life for other people. Take some time out for you. So I don't have any regrets about that. You know, I am glad that she was able to hold on until I got back, but I don't have any regrets about that.
Yeah. And I know your mom, and I think she would have just wanted you to go. And people do tend to hold on until I don't know how, what, when, who knows, but I do believe you got back. And I'm glad you took that trip, because you're right. Your mind needs to be at ease, and you may have someone else out there that's planning right now to take a trip, you know, and that's their concern. go. Life is gonna happen regardless.
I also know this, like, just because I took that trip, that doesn't make me selfish. I bust my ass for my mom. You know what I'm saying? I went above and beyond. But one thing that people who do home care, whether you're a caretaker, whether you're a family member, whatever else like that, you have to look out for you too. It's extremely important that you do that because you get burnt out. It's not easy. Don't ever let nobody make you feel selfish when you're taking care of somebody if you take some time out for you. Your mental health is important too. Your mental and emotional health and spiritual health is important too.
Very important.
Taking care of a loved one can wear you out.
Very important. I'm glad you said that because I think a lot of people out there need to hear that. And somebody out there right now is taking care of someone and they need to hear that. So that's good. So out of the countries that you visited, which one do you say is your favorite trip?
I get asked that a lot, and actually in a future episode I'm gonna come up with like the top 10 list, like favorite countries and worst countries. It's tough. I probably would say Israel. I know that's probably an odd choice for some people, but I think Israel is a great contrast, the best of both worlds. You got like the beaches in the modern city of Tel Aviv. You can nightclub, you can party, go to the beaches, chill. And then you got like the historical landmarks, Jerusalem, the Rolling Wall, the Dome of the Rock, where Jesus was buried, crucified, all that stuff. And also, on that trip, I was able to go to the hometown of Jesus, be able to go to the Sea of Galilee, whatever. And the most important thing was I was able to get baptized in Israel at your baptismal site, which in the Jordan River, which they say is the same waters that Jesus was. And, it's like moments like that as a black man, coming out of the hood, living in the hood, and I'm still not rich or anything else like that, but to be able to, I always try to tell people this, get out of this mindset. You don't have to be rich to have rich experiences. You know what I'm saying? We got to get out of that mindset. We're not limited, we're limitless. And you may not be able to reach your dreams, but you can have a ball trying to reach them in the first place. As they say, shoot for the stars. What is it? Shoot for the stars or whatever. So, I mean, that there I definitely would say was like my best trip out of everything.
What would you consider like your worst trip out of all of them?
Well, there used to be a number one, and now that's been supplanted. My number one before was Brussels, Belgium. And anybody who's watching, if you're from Brussels, I'm not dissing your country or Brussels. I'm dissing the situation and the circumstances. This time when I first got there, got off the train, I went into the bathroom. There was shit smeared all over the wall in the store, and I stood up. There was a lot of homelessness. There was a lot of drug stuff that was going on. There was one point where I went to catch my bus back to Amsterdam, and the terminal part was like upstairs, but at the bottom part, it was almost like a homeless encampment, and it was like really dark. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous and stuff because I just felt like, and it's nothing against the homeless population, but I felt like that's one place that they shouldn't be there because tourism is important to all countries. And when you have a situation like that right there before you can even go up the escalator or anything, I just thought that wasn't good. So that used to be my worst number one. My new worst number one is Switzerland. And I know everybody loves Switzerland. Oh, God, Switzerland is so beautiful. It wasn't beautiful for me. So when I had left Morocco, I had spent a day and a half in Switzerland. And like right from the door, like at the train station, there was a lady who, she's sitting, I'm like looking at my phone trying to figure out how to catch the train. And instead of her helping me, she's like nudging her person, and she's like trying to like point at me like I'm dumb and I'm lost and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Instead of being a bitch, why couldn't you just help me or see if you can help me?
Right.
On that, then I get on the train. I didn't know that you had to store your luggage at a certain place. This lady got on the train and she was just staring at me with disgust and disdain. And so I just turned and I started looking at her and I started staring at her and I wouldn't stop staring at her. And then she got up out of her seat and then she sat in a seat that wasn't facing me. And then another lady got on the train was looking at me with disgust because of the luggage. Then I go to check into the hotel and the guy up front, he's checking me in. He's like, I don't see you here. He's like, are you sure that you're supposed to be here? And again, I'm not trying to say anything racial, but I just kept seeing things that I wasn't liking.
Right.
He eventually found my name. The next day when I was on the train, I had an incident with the people on the train to check your ticket. It just was an overall bad experience. And I'm not saying that Switzerland is racist, but I ran into a lot of racist situations there that I did not like. I appreciate. Would I go back? I would, but I'm glad that I'm at least aware now. And I had like even Googled it afterwards, and I've seen a lot of other people have the same experience in Switzerland too. I don't say that it's real when you're traveling.
God, and speaking of like, well, I'm gonna get to that because what do you feel like? I know when you go, you do a lot of activities, you plan a lot of things. What has been one of your favorite activities on any of the countries?
I kind of say one of the best and most fun things, but most scary and nerve-wracking things that I did was doing the skydiving. But that was actually here in Pittsburgh, skydiving, Pennsylvania. There was a point in my life where I would have never skydived. You know what I'm saying? I was like always scared and terrified of the idea. But as I don't know, it's weird. Like as I get older, I've gotten a lot more adventurous. You know, so I was excited, but I was scared too. I'm glad that they didn't get me on video. I screamed once I first fell out of that plane. And when I fell out of the plane, like he told me that I had to have my legs kind of like up in the air or to my back behind them and stuff. But like as I was falling down, like I looked down and my legs was just like straight dangling in the air. And it seemed like he took his legs and wrapped them around mine and pulled them up because he said if it's just dangling down like that, you won't have as much control. And I'm like going there, and then the wind's all up in my face go all like that, and I couldn't breathe. So I'm like turning my head like this. Then I'm like looking down. Occasionally, it's going like this again. I go like that again. So after a while, but like once it opened up, I mean, it yanks the hell out of you and shit. But like once you're up there and it opens up, and you're just like looking down, and it looked like Google Maps, and you're seeing like all the scenery and all the greenery and the streets and everything. Man, it's so serene and peaceful, man. It's just like heaven. So I know people are scared to skydive, but like I think it's one of the best things that you could ever do if you get over that fear. Like I felt like I almost feel like being baptized again because you just feel alive, man. And it's just like
rush.
conquering things through fear.
That rush that
I would say that's the best thing.
So I know in different countries, and this is me, you know how I be looking at things. There's all type of animals that you see, different animals. And you had an encounter with an interesting animal that you don't really see a lot. How was that moment? Was that like one of your scariest moments on the trip? And tell the people that the animal that you ran into.
Yeah, so I was in Alaska, go figure. And I was at the bus stop waiting for the bus. And there was like a building behind me, and then there was like an alleyway. And so this guy was on this ramp that was like above in the air. And he yells down, he's like, hey. And I didn't know he was talking to me at first. And so then I turn around and look, he's like, bear. And at first I wasn't hearing what he said. He's like, bear. I'm like, oh shit, did he just say bear? So the building's here, the bench is here. I go and peek behind the building, and there's this big ass bear not too far away from me. And I was like, oh shit. And so at this point, I'm sitting there trying to go and stand behind the bus with a damn bear don't see me. And then my stupid ass is sitting there wanting to record it. And then I had to tell myself, I was like, bro, like sometimes you just gotta let it go, man. So eventually the bear left. And I mean, I've seen a couple bears in Alaska. One was right near the hotel at the McDonald's digging in the garbage can. So like I say that's Alaska. That's probably one of the reasons why you didn't want to go with me in addition to the
Exactly. Skipping Alaska. Because it would have been my luck that nobody would have been up top telling me to watch out for the bear. And I would have been dead in Alaska over a bear. Yeah, I ain't doing
it. And then you could just see somebody saying, I told him to stop taking all those trips if I got eaten by a bear alive and stuff. And it's just like, man, I'm not going to live in my fears. Like,
out of all the trips you taking, it'll be that one that just did it in for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's people for you. Like, so like, speaking of like safety, because this is something I know people want to know, is what are some things that people should know about safety in these countries, and I know every country differ. We don't have the time to go through them, but still overall planning, like your visa, your passport, and then kind of choosing where to go, like culturally.
I never like be dead set on any given trip. Like anytime so basically, like as soon as I end one trip, I'll start most times planning for the next one. I may have like a couple countries in my mind in the back of my head of where I wanted to go to, but this might sound silly, but I kind of just let the spirit compel me. As I started doing research, for example, the one time I still had like some flight credits with Alaska Airlines, and then I just started seeing where they go to. And at first I was going to go to Canada, but as I was seeing like they had a sale and they had different countries, I seen Belize was one of the countries that they go to. And so I don't really like going to the same countries that everybody else goes to. So, everybody goes to Mexico, Cancun, everybody goes to the Bahamas, everybody goes to Jamaica, I don't want to say Haiti, maybe Costa Rica. I always want to be different and go somewhere else. So like sometimes I do kind of like X those countries out. Not that I don't want to go there, but I was like, I've heard of Belize. I don't know a lot about it, but a lot of people, I don't hear people saying that they go to Belize all the time. So like that was just one example. Panama, one day I was just looking up flights and I happened to hear Panama and I Googled it and they had some cheap flights there. So I went and took that trip. So I mean, it's never really set in stone. As far as, okay.
I was just agreeing with you. As
far as like dangers and stuff like that, probably every time I go somewhere, I run into a scam, or it seems like of late, every time I go somewhere, I have a questionable situation where I have to use my street smarts. Like, some people always think I'm the nicest person in the world. It's just that I have manners and I was raised right. You know what I'm saying? And I talk to people, speak to people, be mannerable, be a gentleman, things like that. But I don't have that clue to nobody, but when you're in situations where you're being scammed or you feel like your life is in danger or somebody's trying to get over on you, think you're a weak target, you got to let them know. You know what I'm saying? So I've had several run-ins like that, especially when you're by yourself. I would hate it like a fever. And you just have to show another side to them, let you know that, hey, I'm not scared. I'm not afraid, even if you're terrified. You still got to let them know that, hey, like, I'm not putting up with your shit, So, like I said, there have been those situations, and if I didn't buck up, who knows what would have happened.
Right. I believe that. And I'm like you, like a woman traveling. I know there's a lot of women that's very adventurous and travel by themselves. You just got to do your homework about every country that you're in and just know the places that are safe and know the signs, right? Like the signs of scammers. There's scammers in every country. There's scammers here in the U.S. So, something you said is you just always got to be prepared and use your street smarts there. And I'll say for people that say, well, I don't know nothing about the streets, common sense. That's the biggest thing. Use common sense and you'll probably be fine. So
another thing you said too, I want to mention is you said about research. To me, that's the number one thing. Do your research. Whatever country you're going to, do your research. I don't care whether you got to Google some stuff. I don't care whether you got to watch 62 YouTube videos, whatever it is. Do your research. That helps, because by doing your research or watching other YouTube channels and stuff, you could learn what some of the scams are in that country.
Right.
There's so many little different things. Another scam in a lot of countries is the taxi drivers are always trying to get over on you.
Yes, it happened to me in Puerto Rico.
Their meter isn't working. They'll double charge you. Like when I was in Morocco, I got so irritated with the situation. I just started walking each time. Like from my Airbnb to like the main square, it was like a 40-minute walk, and I just did the walk. It was the exercise, but I was tired of them damn taxis. So
I remember that. I remember you mentioning that. I think I was talking to you one day about it. You was like, "I'm just gonna walk."
Yeah, pissing me off, man.
And that's everywhere because it happened to me in Puerto Rico. It happened to me in Costa Rica. It's just everywhere that they would get, especially if they know you don't know the language and the currency. Oh my God.
And then the thing is, like, if you would have just been honest, you could have got a tip. Now I know you're scamming. I'm not giving you a tip. Like, you're not getting the tip.
Keep it moving.
Have
you ever thought about like helping others travel, and take these adventures, as well as going yourself though, like, helping them book the trip like a travel agent under a travel agency, but then going with them to be more of a tour guide since you already had those experiences?
I don't know that I would want to be a tour guide, especially if it's a stranger, just because there's different personalities.
Yeah.
When you go on a trip, you're spending a hell of a lot of money, so you don't want your trip to be ruined by somebody else. Actually, my stepmom had mentioned to me saying that I should do like some consultation, because like I've been to enough places now, like I know what I'm doing. Now, I mean, two weaknesses that I have is one, I don't know nothing about rental cars in other countries, and I don't know anything about like cruise ships. I've never been on a cruise ship, but like besides that, yeah, I definitely want to help people. Actually, like I said, we're going to have some contests and things in this episode, but I called Chuck up, my cousin Chuck up, and I'm going to pay for him to get his passport, because I'm trying to get him to travel with me for a minute too. And he always gets mad at me. He like, cuz when you booking your trip, let me know in advance, because like I'll just be on some website and I see a good price and I'll go ahead and book it.
Right.
And, like, trip to Panama was like $215, but then when he tried to book it, it was almost $500. So he was like, "Man, I get it, but like, what if I would have waited, and then it would have been $500 for me?" So
right.
So I'm helping him get his passport, and I wanted to help one random person get a passport, but that's kind of difficult because I could send the money to somebody, but I don't know that they're going to use it for a passport.
Right.
So like, sure, I could actually go there with him and make sure he does the right thing, and
right. Right.
So I'm going to do that, and I'm thinking like doing things more occasionally like that. Like I just, I know it's a bad thing, but I just met my two nephews last week for the first time, and I think they don't have their passports yet. So I was thinking about helping them out.
Nice.
I want to start doing more things like that, because that's the thing. Like why people are hating, like, man, with my love of travel and my passion for it, like I would like to get as many people, like I said, especially us as African Americans, to travel. Because I think get you out of your mindset. You can get out of the hood. Maybe you could, if you learn there's more to life than all this ghetto stuff, ghetto hood shit in the streets and violence and the bang bang, shoot 'em up and stuff. Maybe we can help save some lives and stuff. And through that, I don't care whether it's just expanding your horizons, expanding that box that you're in. And one of the ways to do that is, I don't even care if you just travel to another city. You know what I'm saying? You can just see how other people live. Or if you think about like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he's in the hood in Philadelphia. He still got them hood ways and mentalities, but then he gets to be around some more upscale people, and he's rough around edges. But as time goes on, he starts to, bridge the gap a little bit. And I just think that's important for all of us.
I think so too. And that's dope what you're doing too, helping people get passports and stuff. That's different. And I think more African Americans need to travel. And I think your channel is probably going to help a lot of people do that. In closing, let everybody know your social media, how to find you. I'm sure if they find this video, they'll know that. And then anything like else that you want to like let the viewers know that are interested in travel.
So, I mean, as far as the YouTube, it's just Ken's Travels. And if you can't find it, I mean, you could just do a search like Ken's Travels Panama or Ken's Travels Morocco or something. Something will come up. As far as other social media, man, I pretty much got off of social media. Like, I mean, I still had that Respectfully Disagree Facebook account that we used to have. But I just use that for like when you're using like Facebook Marketplace, things like that.
Right.
For all the platforms that I'm still on, I don't use any of them. And the main ones I had, like, I deleted all of them. I just kind of got tired of all of it.
Right. Yeah. Negativity. So at least you can control the YouTube and the travel piece without all the extra.
I think that social media has helped contribute to the mental health crisis that's going on in America and around the world. So sometimes I think it's just best to like take a break or get off of there, because like even the nicest person can become an asshole on social media. For some reason, you want some keyboard or something, you become the boldest badass in the world, talking a bunch of this and that. And like, I just don't like to be around all that fake stuff, the negativity, or somebody always worried about what somebody else is doing or not doing. And, it's just, Weird to
Right.
me. The last thing, if I had anything to say, I'd just say like whatever your dreams is, pursue them. You know, don't let nobody get in the way. Like I said, I'm human. I don't like some of the comments that's made at times because there's no reason for it. Like,
Right.
my thing is don't hate on anybody. Stop being negative like that because to me, you block your blessings when you do that. And be happy for somebody, even if you got to fake it. Even if you jealous because somebody got married and you're alone and you 46. I'm not talking about myself. Just saying. And you 46. Like, just be happy for people. So, like,
Right.
even in our Black community, like, there's so much hate and jealousy and animosity. Like, just stop all that. Be happy for people, man. You be happy
Right.
for others. Things will happen to you. And sometimes you got to realize that even if something good is going on for somebody else, it's just not your time yet. If you have a positive mentality, positive attitude, eventually you'll get yours. And even if you don't, it's okay. Everybody's not meant to be Tim Cook, CEO. Somebody got to be a garbage picker. I mean,
Right.
garbage.
Exactly. There's lanes for everybody. There's something for everybody to do. So, and while you're at it, just choose one and then have fun too on the side. Like you said earlier, is find that passion, enjoy your life. Do not be so consumed with work that you don't get out there and have fun because you'll turn around. We were just 20, 21, 25. You turn around and you'll be 45, 50. So enjoy your life. Do like Ken do and go to Ken's Travel and travel. And I want to say congratulations to you on your 50th episode. Like, that's a big milestone. And I remember when you said you was first starting this and you've been consistent with it. And I think a lot of times people are not consistent, me included, with things that they do. And I know this is your passion. And just the years that I've known you, I know too that you've been trying to find stuff here and there. It is a passion. And so I'm excited watching you travel. I've lived through you because usually I travel, y'all, but I've been like kind of a little like chill the last, I think, 7 years.
You're always busy though. You always doing some shit, brother.
I have been busy, but what we just said is don't let it consume you. And that's why when you asked me about the next trip, I said, you know what? I'm doing it because every time I get tied up in work and it's done. And I know we're filming in August. And so I was like, you know what? The time is now. I'm taking the trip. So, but congratulations on that. And the next time when we taking that trip, is it September?
Yep, September.
So when we doing like episode 75 or something or 60, wherever we are or you are in it, I will be there.
Yeah, just to let you know, when we go on this trip, I mentioned about camera work. I'm going to let you be like my Farnsworth Bentley with Puffy. With the umbrella, it's going to be holding the camera there. So I'm going to put you to
Just
work.
make sure I have an umbrella because I don't know the weather there. That's something I got to look up. I started looking up stuff, but I'm like, September, how's the weather there? Either way, I don't care if it's cold or hot. I need an umbrella. If I'm going to be Farnsworth, I need to look the part. And then I need a fashion stylist. That's going to be for you to find out.
Right? Because he be, he's on the Gentleman or something. What was it?
Right. Well, it's been fun. Thank you. It's been an honor to allow me to do the interview out of all the people. You could have asked all the people in the world, but there was nobody better than me to do it anyway. So thank you. Thank you for asking me.
It sounds like Oprah or Diane Sawyer, but I'm not that important. You know what I'm saying? So,
Barbara Walters, but she's not here no more.
Oh, wait. Oh, shit.
See,
huh?
Yeah. Oprah's still available, though.
Oh, you know, it's funny. Like, the camera's right here, so I'm, like, looking up at the screen at you. But the camera where I need to be looking at is right here, so I'm probably just looking all up crazy and shit.
Actually, you can't tell the whole time you're looking, like, right there.
Yeah, really? Okay.
I didn't even know, but my camera is, like, over here, so I've been looking at one crazy. But it ain't my interview, it's yours, so... But and we are
everybody get your passport and travel, man.
Yes. Passport, visa for some countries. That's what I gotta do. I gotta get my visa.
Yeah.
I got my passport.
That a lot of people don't know about, like certain countries. I think with American passport you could get to like 100 and it's either somewhere between like 185, 192 countries.
Yeah, it's a lot of
every country. So you gotta have your passport as well as your visa. And one of the places that we're going to next you have to have your visa.
Great. So I had to get a visa. So I've been knowing people about their passport. Now I gotta get a visa, which I'm looking forward to it. I've been needing to get a visa anyway, so I have one.
And it's BS because it's nothing but a piece of paper with like
right.
You gotta fill out, you gotta pay all that money for. It's so stupid.
That's all it is. That's all it is. But cool, man. It has been fun, and we shall talk. And I'll be watching the next episode of Ken's Travel, and definitely this one because hello, I'm on it. I'll let you later.
All right, peace. In celebration of Ken's Travel's 50th episode, giving away a prize giveaway. Select one of the 4 options. Prize A will help you get your very own passport. Prize B will help you get TSA PRECHECK. Prize C, a $100 Airbnb gift card. And Prize D, either a gift card with American, United, or Delta. In the comments section, specify why you'd like to win the prize and what you would do with the prize if you received it. All submissions must be received no later than September 1st, 2023. And a future episode of Ken's Travels will reveal who the winners are. As always, once again, thanks for watching.